I've always been a fan of Bluey in my whole entire life. One of my favorite characters is Mackenzie. So I was going down my basement and shit, and I found this rare Bluey DVD, and it had a title which said, "Watch Me," but there is no sign of the healers anywhere. Not in the box, not on the other box, not on the box on top of the box, and not on the box on top of the box on top of the box inside of the box on top of the box that I mailed from Boxland. Also, I dismissed this as some kind of insensitive joke that I knew for a fact I was going to have to go out of my way and get canceled on Twitter, because Bluey is a TV show with a bunch of humor. However, I was wrong. I was so wrong, man. I was fucking wrong. I was so goddamn wrong that I watched the episode. The introduction looked normal, but it had a horrific blood red, bloody Satan, evil black background color like it was some sort of Halloween special. When it ended, Mackenzie and Bluey were playing shops, but until Mackenzie looks a bit sad and started quitting, like, fuck this, I quit. Then Mackenzie began to cry. He cried and cried and cried and cried and cried. He cried so much that I even started crying. But here's a plot twist. It didn't sound like actual cartoon crying. It sounded It sounded realistic and absolutely miserable. When Mackenzie stopped crying and wiped his tears away, a hooded person that resembled Jean-Luc came and punched him, causing him to get unconscious, and put him on a bag. What the fuck? And there was a title card that said, "Lose a Friend." The narration said, "This episode of Bluey is called Lose a Friend." I can't believe it. There was a POV of Mackenzie on a grassy place without sidewalks or roads, and the grass looked realistic. The man said, "Go to sleep," in a Russian accent? Okay. Go to sleep. It started cutting open Mackenzie's stomach and leaving his guts hanging out of his body. I got really sick when I saw that because of how hyper-realistic it was. It then cuts to a gruesome-looking carcass of Mackenzie. His eyes were rolled in the back of his sockets. His tongue was sticking out, and he was covered in blood and guts while a music box plays "It's a Small World After All." It's a small world after all. I began to cry because Mackenzie was my favorite character, like I mentioned almost 4 or 5 times in this fucking Creepypasta. The episode ended with a man revealing to be this guy, and then grabbing the same knife and cutting his wrist. Then then static, and I had nightmares after whatever this monstrosity was. But let this be a warning to every one of you. Bluey is secretly Satan.
In fear and surprise, as your eyes widen, your mouth goes dry with each battered breath. You try to scream, your mind begs to leave, glued to your computer screen. The killers they slash, the tapes burn and crash. The cartridge you bought will be your final haunt. The rituals of hate will seal your fate. The tears you shed will be from the fear-gripping horror-driven nightmarish gore-filled, terrorizing, hateful, burning, violent, rage-inducing, knife-slashing, blood-splattering, silent screams. Only time will tell if you will escape this online hell. Your horror-filled obsessions will come with its own regressions. Your pathetic screams will not be heeded in any way, because your nightmares will come at any day. Hey, hey,